going to open up practice a day. And Maple Jackson, today's practice is going to be a pose study on downward dog. Shavasana is the Sanskrit word that is used for downward facing dog. Now, think about a dog. Maybe watch some YouTube videos on dogs and how they play and how they naturally move into downward facing dog. My dog wakes up in the morning, he shakes, he licks me, and then he begins to stretch, lifting his tail way up to the sky and his chest completely to the floor and stretching his paws and his forearms out. That's downward facing dog. It's a great spinal stretch and really a great way to ground ourselves through our hands and feet and to lengthen and give space to the spine. Let's find some variations of it together and recognize how we can practice it every day. First variation I'd like to offer to you is to have a chair. So I have this chair right here, and I'm going to stand and face the chair. Now, your chair might be higher, it might be a little lower. Ideally, you want to be able to put your hands on the back of the chair. I'm gonna walk back and keep my hips and my knees and my ankles together in one line. So I wouldn't have my foot forward and I wouldn't have my foot completely behind me when I'm working with the chair. So I invite you to kind of look. It's good to be able to see where you are aligned and see where you're not aligned. You can help adjust. Hands are gonna reach out. So if I'm standing here, I'm in a nice straight line, almost like a mountain pose. And take a deep breath in and out. I invite you to do the same and just feel the floor beneath your feet. Then I'll place my hands onto the chair and I'm going to walk back as far as I feel comfortable so I can hinge at my hips. So the movement starts from the hips. Even with this right here, I feel a lengthening down my thighs. I'm gonna walk back some more and I'm gonna really fold at my hips and tuck my chin and have a nice long back, nice long legs, and settle into downward dog. Lifting my tailbone. The tailbone is right at the end of the spine. Breathing in and out, I hold the posture. I'm going to take the chin so my face is parallel to the floor, so I'm tucking the chin in a bit. Oh, that feels so good in the back and in the backs of the legs. All right, to come out of it, I'm going to look forward between my thumbs. My hands are extended straight out from my shoulders, so there's space between my hands. So the space between my thumbs, I'm going to look forward. I'm going to raise my chest and then walk in. Oh, that felt good. Hey, listen, if you are working from a chair, you can do downward dog chair to chair. I have this chair here, and I'm going to bring another chair into my space. I'm going to seat right here. Feet are grounded into the floor, hands are on this chair. I can scoot that chair out a bit and fold over this way too. Again, shoulder blades kind of press away from my spine, and I'm reaching my fingers forward, really opening up my hands a bit. Breathing in and out, letting my collarbone smile, kind of lifting up to the ends of my collarbone, tucking the chin. One more breath. Again, looking forward, I begin to sit up. I'm going to bring my hands back and sit up nice and tall here. So mimicking that mountain pose, reaching up to the crown of my head. Let's take it to the floor if that's where you're able to go today. Allow me to move my chairs out of the way. And if you can find space to stand at the top of your mat, I invite that. We'll go into mountain pose. So again, those feet are grounded down, and we're gonna take this tailbone and tuck it. So we're pulling up that pelvis right here and drawing the shoulders down. This is a great posture to stand and feel strong in mountain pose. Now let's make our way onto the floor. You're gonna bend the knees, bringing the hands to the floor. If you have blocks and you want to bring your hands to the blocks, you can do that. We will use blocks today. And come down, one knee down at a time. I'm gonna move my blocks out of the way. Bring my hands to the floor, opening my hands. And again, shoulders and elbows and wrists are lined up. Hips and knees are lined up. And I lengthen the back. You feel nice and tall and strong in this posture. Now, we can do a little variation of downward dog from here. It's called puppy pose. I'm gonna walk my hands out so I have some length in my arms. I'm gonna walk my knees back so I have space in my mat. I invite you to do that as well. And dropping the chest, we're gonna lift my tailbone up to the sky and allow my chest to fall and the chin to fall. Maybe if it's your mat, go ahead and put your head down. And now we're in puppy pose. So this is, if you can notice, like a dog. Lifting the tailbone, dropping the chest, opening the shoulders, breathing in and out. Let's take 2 more breaths together. Let's take a look forward so there is space between my thumbs. I look to that space and I'm going to slide my hands back and draw myself back into all 4. Maybe give yourself a little cat pose to counter stretch that downward facing dog. That felt good. Hey, if you're near a wall, you can also do downward dog on the wall. I'm gonna face away from you as I do the wall, but you will be able to still see that my arms will be lengthened out from my shoulders and my hips will stay over my knees and my ankles. So I'm near a wall now and I'll use the wall to support myself coming up. Hands will be on the wall. Again, wrists, elbows, shoulders. Feet sit under my hips. I walk the hands down and I press down into downward dog. You can do this anywhere, at school, at work, at home. If you don't want to get all the way on the floor, just a great stretch right here. And then walk yourself up. Let's meet in mountain pose again. A good way to get to the floor, because we're going to go back down there, is to reach up and just dive down. So feet will be hip width apart, and we're going to go from this folded space into downward dog directly. There's so many fun ways that you can get into downward dog. So I'm going to walk my right foot back and my left foot back. So now notice that my hips, knees, and ankles are not in one straight line. They are angled at an incline, and they're still in this chain where they're connected and supporting each other. My tailbone is lifted high. My wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in a line, right? And I'm opening my fingers really wide and pressing the base of my knuckles into the floor to support myself, and I press away. Now, I'm going to come forward onto tabletop again, and I want to show you my elbows. I'm pointing my elbows out very intentionally to show you the variation of downward dog and of how the arm should be. You rotate those elbows back through the shoulders. We all are uniquely made, and our arms and the rotation of our joints are all different. So when I say they should be this way, you just want to take that rotation and have that feeling of your arms feeling strong The biceps and the forearms are completely engaged, and the elbow is pointing toward the back, so it's pointing toward your thighs. Opening those hands nice and wide, stretching the webbing between your fingers will help you ground the hands into the mat. So let's take our elbows out and in. And I should say that we're going to do that through the shoulders. So out, opening the shoulders, and in. 2 more times. Out and in. And feel strong. Push, push, push away. Curl the toes under. Let's lift the knees up. And lift into downward dog. The chin tucks towards the chest. Nice long neck. And you can shake the head yes and no to let go of tension. And then be intentional about holding the crown of the head steady and still, pointing towards the ground. Now, let's move around in this posture. One heel up, one heel down. One knee bent, one knee straight. Maybe move the hips around a bit. And then, feet hip width apart, let them find stillness. If your hamstrings are tight, you can bend the knees, lift that tailbone. You're going to press the soles of the feet towards the mat. They might touch the mat, they might not touch the mat. You ideally want to press them so you let gravity really pull them towards the floor. You're lengthening the spine, so lift the tailbone and tuck the chin. And let's hold for 5 breaths. Get strong through those arms if you can. If you're on the wall, get strong through those arms, pointing the elbows down. If you're on the chair, I invite you to do the same. A little deeper into the posture. And then let's look up between our hands. Lift up high. Generously bend the knees. And bending the knees can really help you lengthen the spine a bit more. And then settle those heels back towards the ground. So maybe you're a little closer to your legs. It's a good time to take a deep breath to relax your eyes and your jaws. All right, we're gonna lift up high again, so we're on the pads of our toes and bend the knees again and walk forward. Big steps, little steps, tiptoes, whatever it takes. Folding forward, relaxing the back, the chin comes to the chest so you can relax the neck and the arms. And then slowly, slowly, slowly roll up. Standing nice and tall. Every week we're going to practice a pose and identify ways that you can find success in a posture. Your postures offer challenges and they offer success. So join us on our Open Up YouTube channel to find how you can practice poses and practice variations of the poses so you find success in your practice. I hope downward dog was a good practice for you today, as we do it so often in almost every type of yoga class, from a yin yoga class to an Ashtanga yoga class. And we will continue to share and teach all the different variations of yoga that you can offer yourself as you're getting stronger and healthier. I wish you peace, and I thank you so much for your time. Om Shanti.